Hello and welcome to Core with Court. Today we are going to do a standing only Pilates series. So all you will need is some weights. If you have some ankle weights, you can hold on to those into your hands. If you don't have weights, feel free to just mimic the movements with just free hands. You do not need them. And we will get started. So we're going to start with a lunge, so you can choose which direction you would like to face first. I'm going to have your front foot come out and your back leg come back. And we're going to just find that lunge position just to start. Lowering that knee down to tap towards that ground as low as you can, and then standing back up and repeat. So what do you think about shaping that front knee at a 90-degree angle each time you lower down? That front leg is your balancing leg, so you're driving through that heel as you stand on up. We're gonna add that back leg. So on your next one, we are going to lower into our lunge. Now when you stand up, I want you to bring that back leg forward, tuck it in towards your belly button, floating it above the ground. Shoot it back, find your lunge again. And repeat. Going nice and slow and controlled here, helping with that balance, take your time. We're gonna add a shoulder press of those weights. So we're gonna bring those weights up towards our shoulders, shoot them up to the sky, lower down again. Bring that leg back. And repeat, shoulder press. And again, if you don't have those weights, just mimic this movement with your hands. If this is too much on your balance, then I want you to just stick with keeping those hands down. Great job, we have 4. Last 3. 2. And last 1, shooting all the way back down to that lunge. I want you to hold here. We pulse. While we're pulsing, let's bring those hands behind our head. We're gonna hold here in the next 2. And 1, hold and twist towards that bent knee. Come back to center. Twisting towards that bent knee. Come back to center. For 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to think about straightening that front leg, keeping that back leg exactly where it is. Come forward, lean back into your lunge, and repeat, coming forward. Lean back into your lunge. Let's bring those hands back down towards our hips. Shooting forward, coming back to lunge. We're gonna shoot those arms back as we come forward. Think about working those triceps as you squeeze to bring those arms back. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that forward placement. I want you to lift that front heel, lower it back down. Lift and lower. As we pulse those hands back, working those triceps and that front calf. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stick with me, hold here, lower that heel. You're gonna lift that back leg. We're just gonna pulse that back leg. Lots of challenge for that balance. So if you need to bend that knee in front of you, feel free. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that leg forward, great job. Shoot those hands up. Take that forward fold. All right, come back up to standing. We are gonna do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna just start with that lunge just to warm up this front leg now. Again, focusing on that 90-degree bend. Squeezing through those glutes as you come on up. Keeping those hips parallel to the wall you're facing. Great job, let's go for 4, and then we're gonna add that knee. 3, 2, 1, shoot up, bring that knee into chest. Straighten back down, find that lunge. Bring that knee back to chest. Let's add that shoulder press if you have that on the last side. Bringing it down, shoot back into the lunge. Come back up. Think about tucking that core in, using it to help you balance here. You got it. We're here for 4. Last 3. 2. And 1. I know that supporting leg is firing up. I want you to sit in that lunge, pulse up an inch and down an inch. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place those hands behind our head. We find that oblique twist again here. Come back to center. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay with me. You're going to straighten that standing leg. Lean back to lunge. Straighten that standing leg. Lean back to lunge. Let's add our arms. Working those triceps on your next one, shooting those hands back. Lowering back down to lunge. Shoot those hands back. Lower back to lunge. You got it for 5, 4, 3, 2. We're gonna hold that stand. 1, lift that heel, lower that heel. Lift that heel, lower that heel. For 3, 2, 1, lower that heel, stick with me. Pulse that foot off the ground, pulse those hands up to sky. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring everything back to center. Reach those hands up, separate those legs, dive down, forward fold. And then we're gonna peel ourselves back up. You're gonna face me. We're gonna find a wide stance squat. So I want your feet to be pointed out at a slight diagonal so you have that external rotation of the thighs and knees. We are gonna go into some crunches here while we are holding our squat. So I want your hands to come behind your head, find that squat position. We're gonna take the right side first. So you're gonna extend that right arm down beyond that knee. You're gonna crunch that right side. Come back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. For 5, 4, last 3, 2, 1. Hold here. We pulse for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way up to standing. Straighten out those feet. Separate the feet a little bit more. We're gonna go into our lateral lunge. So we're gonna add some flies. So each time we bend down on this side, we're gonna shoot those arms out nice and long to either side of you. Come back up. Shooting those arms out. Come back up. Making sure you're sitting in that right hip, as well as leaning down towards that bent knee. Keep scooping the belly button, protecting that low back here. Go for 5, 4, last 3, 2. You're gonna hold this last one. Drain those arms down towards that foot. Every time we lift the heel, I want you to find a hammer curl. Lower that heel again. Lift heel, hammer curl. You got it. We're here for 6. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that heel, hold those hands. We pulse on that right hip. Up an inch and down an inch for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten up, straighten those hands, forward fold again. Maybe you shift from one hip and then the other, relaxing those hips, giving that leg a nice break. And then we come all the way back up. We found that external rotation of those toes again. Hands are behind our head. We find our sumo squat. We're going to drop that left hand now as we crunch on that left side. Come back up to seated. And repeat. Getting the obliques involved. as well as firing up those glutes and thighs. Make sure you're sitting directly on top of that pelvis. You're not leaning forward or back. You really want to sit up nice and tall. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We hold and we pulse. We have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way up to standing. Straighten those feet. Wider stance here, going into that lateral lunge again. So we're going to add that 5 as we lean down on that left side now. Come back up. Leaning down. Come back up. Try and keep that gaze towards the front of that mat, towards the front of that left foot. Try and keep that gaze just above that foot so your neck stays long. You got it. We're here for 5, 4, last 3, 2, and 1. We hold, we drop those hands down to that feet. Let's add that heel lift and hammer curl. Lifting the heel, curling the arms through those biceps. Go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it, pulse. Last set. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up nice and tall. Reach those arms. Forward fold. You can ditch those weights if you have them. Maybe drop that head a little bit more. Shake it left and right. You can bring those hands over to the right side. Box out that foot. Maybe grab onto the ankle. Drop yourself down a little bit lower. Float those hands over to that other side. Boxing out that left foot or grabbing onto that ankle to pull yourself closer. Bringing those hands back to center, wiggling the heel to toe to touch. Coming all the way up, we're gonna face one side of our mat. We're gonna reach those hands nice and tall and drop those hands down to that mat. You're gonna walk them out, finding your high plank. And then we're just gonna shift those hips back up to ceiling. Going into your downward dog. You can pedal out one foot and then the other if that feels good. Staying here, or we slowly walk our feet up to our hands. Find that forward fold again, and then shoot all the way back up. Great job. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you wanted a little bit more, I also have a 10-minute ab series. I will put the link in the bio. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.